I'm glad you didn't back out, but there ain't enough room in this town for the both of us. I'm glad we agree on that. Hold your horses. Didn't think you were the only ones in this here duel now, did ya? Not so fast, punks. Looks like we. Well. Looks like we got ourselves a good old-fashioned 2022, the year it was slightly more acceptable to cough into your homies' mouths. Russia was feeling quirky and chose violence, and Konami blessed us with a brand new digital product. Cross Duel, the coolest way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! That doesn't exist. So what happened to it? Let's take it from the top. Cross Duel presented itself as another version of a beginner-friendly Yu-Gi-Oh! With nostalgic cards, not so nostalgic cards, recognizable dragon waifus, and whatever this is. But it's gonna be different from all the other times they've reinvented Yu-Gi-Oh! This time, there's a twist, a crisscross. It's not actually Yu-Gi-Oh! But it kind of is, but here's how you play. Preparation. Gather 3 other people and make sure they have a smart device younger than a HTC 320. Next comes the tricky part, because you have to convince at least one person to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Build a deck,
Sistina, which is just a shit,
and jump into a match. The objective of the game is to have the most amount of life points after 8 rounds. Each turn, a player can summon monsters, play spells, place traps, battle, and move your monsters. That's right, move monsters. As you can see, the board is spaghettified. Depending where you place your monsters, they will have to move down a set path to get your opponent's side of the board and deal life point damage. When you deal damage, you gain that much life as well. Sometimes your opponent will have their monster on the board blocking your path. So what happens when 2 perfectly civilized beings greet each other along a quiet road? They try to murder one another. Battle is determined by whoever has the biggest number, but after every fight, the winning monster loses attack based on the attack of its victim. Each monster can be upgraded with skills you earn through playing the game, and you can unlock new monsters with packs in the shop. You can earn packs over time, or you can play the strongest card in the game to unlock them all in one go. That card is Mum's Amex Bronze card. The gameplay was 80% baseline Yu-Gi-Oh! With monster spells, traps, life points, tributes, pendulums, and links. Yeah, pendulums and links were in this game. Because if Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't f***ed enough already, you had to coordinate the minefield that is link arrows and pendulum scales on this shit. Who said the game's complicated? Frankly, I don't think it's complicated enough. Now, in fairness, I never really played with the pendulum or link monsters, because when every card is presented as vanilla, I didn't even realise they were in the game until I looked it up 3 years later to talk shit about it. So how did it play? The game was pretty fun, but it wasn't exactly Yu-Gi-Oh! Cross Duel's gameplay felt if Yu-Gi-Oh! Had a baby with chess, and it was raised by Bloons Tower Defense 6. Much like Bloons, you need to have good resource management, cash in the bank to get them good upgrades, and understanding good positioning, and much like chess, thing moves. Unfortunately, the last thing I can say about the game is the profile pictures they gave you were actually very good.
So good.
While most appealed to the more flamboyant members of society, Duel also blessed us with these masterpieces. Apart from that, I can't actually say much more about the game, because I don't remember it, and it died 9 months after release. So what actually killed Cross Duel? A lot of people say it was very pay to win, and it was. I think I'm just going to go on a tangent here. I got super unlucky in all my packs. I was gifted with piles of dog shit. But when I would jump into a game, my lack of good cards meant I was not recognised as a threat. And when no one knows what you're up to, no one sees you winning. Which kinda leads me on to my next point. Sometimes people had no idea what they were doing, and you couldn't help other players either. Sometimes people made what can only be described as bot plays, because out of nowhere they would just make an aggressive move on a random person, very clearly without thinking it through. Others acted on feelings of class struggle to the player ahead.
This is terrible.
See, if the guy in first place is stomping the game, the guy in second wants his head, the guy in third will try aim for second at best, and the guy in fourth is an unhinged maniac with nothing to lose. The games would often default to one person defending the throne, one person trying to take it, and then 2 crazed maniacs who just want to fuck over as the easiest to fuck over. And if you're on the receiving end of that, you get kinda pissed. Similar games have a system of communicating to other players when you feel like they didn't make a correct call. If you play a game of Commander in Magic the Gathering, you won't get very far if you can't make bargains to take out other players. And in other 4-player free-for-alls, politics and communication determines everything.
Cheeseburgers.
Crossduel had no such system for communicating, which made games very frustrating and even harder to coordinate to take down the guy on top. There was also a case of bad timing. The game was slow. You had to wait on 3 other players to make a slow decision on what to do next, all while they sit through animations that take fucking ages. It didn't feel very good. Also, Master Duel was released earlier that same year and people were having fun playing it. Either nobody wanted to play Cross Duel because Master Duel was better, or perhaps because no one really knew about it. Master Duel introduced loads of new players to the game and sparked old players' interest back into Yu-Gi-Oh! So you would think if people are enjoying Master Duel, it would be good reason to give Cross Duel a try, which on paper makes sense. But people have to know about it. Anecdotally, I didn't know about it until someone asked me if I had it. I didn't know about it because it was only available on mobile. Now, complaining that it's only available on your phone maybe isn't the most fair criticism. Most people do play games on their phone, so it's safe to assume having it on the App Store is enough, right? Well, no. Let's be real, no one really wants to play Yu-Gi-Oh! On their phone. Unless they're addicted.
Oh, fuck.
You know who else won't play games on their phone? Content creators. Especially streamers.
Oh, the camera's on.
The schizo voices in your PC screen may not be willing to work out how to make a good setup on their phone and risk broadcasting sensitive notifications live on stream. Of course, your favourite Yugi-tuber is going to make at least one video on it. Obviously, your niche content creator is going to create content about your niche. But the rest of them probably won't. Critical and Ludwig did stream Master Duel, and that definitely helped in the growth of its popularity. But that doesn't mean they're going to buy new games phones jerry-rigged to their PC just to play Cross Duel. On the launch of Master Duel, it was pushed to the front page of Steam, and if you're someone who uses Steam daily, you would have definitely seen it, and it's basically been advertised to you right in your face. Cross Duel had a footnote in the App Store, maybe. Master Duel had a wide reach to more people, including content creators and streamers outside of the community. Cross Duel's influence never left the community. A smaller reach and a lack of proper advertising means less players. Less players means less income. And so, 9 months later, that same year, Konami decided to pull the plug and shut down Cross Duel. It is now completely impossible to play a game of Cross Duel. For a game that did something new with the formula of Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's a shame to see it crash, burn, and never accessed again. This isn't the first time we have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game that did something a little wacky and silly with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Brand. And it's not the first time it's flopped. And it's not the first time it got completely lost to time. And it's a shame that a game with such polish and such care put into it will never be accessed again. Konami had to shut down the game because very little player numbers. Low player numbers means low income, and chances are it was bleeding Konami money, so they called it a day. But perhaps there's a chance. Maybe one day, Cross Duel can come back. Maybe it'll make a glorious revival to... No, something like that actually won't happen. Honestly, something like this won't even make its way into a super collection of games 20 years later. And that sucks. I am totally against companies taking away games from us that we don't even own. It's like removing history, even if that history is a digital slop coming from a gambling company. Even Valve kept Artifact, and that game is recognized as one of the biggest failures in gaming history. So until we learn how to pirate dead live service games, we won't be seeing it anytime soon. RIP IP in peace, Cross Duel. You will be missed. Now, I don't know how to finish bits like this, so let's just... Hey, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. The fact that you did that means a lot, and it really, really does support the channel a huge amount. A quick update. I am going to still be making videos. I'm just going to be doing it under a different face that won't get me put on an MI5 watch list. So, you know, be on the lookout for that. Like I said, I'm going to continue making videos also in a slightly more timely manner. Maybe. But if you like what you saw and you like what I'm putting out, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It really, really does make a huge difference. More contents to come. Thank you so much. Take it easy.